Hello guys and welcome. You already know what today is. It's Talk with Tyy Tuesday, and last Tuesday was all about the ladies, but today's topic is all about the fellas. So fellas, I got a very important topic today and you gotta tune in for this one. This is all about men's mental health. It's extremely toxic in a way that society tries to make men feel like they can't have emotions or they can't express themselves because of the fact that they may be seen as weak, which is not true and that's false. And I always say that if you guys weren't meant to have emotions or meant to cry, God wouldn't have given you the ability to be able to do that in the first place. And once you bottle all those things up, it becomes depression, because suppression equals depression. It leads to anger issues, it leads to aggression, just extremely toxic traits that ultimately will lead you down a dark path that you do not want to be on. And that's not to say that you have to be overly emotional or be all in your feelings, but it's about having a healthy balance and just knowing how to cope with those emotions in a healthy way. A lot of men suffer in silence because they're too scared to speak up because they don't want to look a certain way. I understand most men, they take pride in their image and who they are, and they want to be seen as strong and able to conquer all, but just make sure that you're not putting aside your mental health just to keep a specific image or, not to be seen a certain way. So I'm going to give you guys some really helpful tips that will help you to channel those emotions in healthy ways. And it doesn't even have to just be talking to somebody, just through other things, sports, exercising and working out, just other ways that you guys can cope with those type of emotions. So if you're interested, let's get right into it. So tip number one is to get into some hobbies and get your body moving or exercise. Exercising and sports are a really good way to ease your depression because that stagnant energy stays in your body. It's really good to get your heart rate going and pumping and sweat all of that stuff out. Get your body moving. Try not to stay too stagnant and kind of just sit around and wallow in it. I know that you may not feel like doing anything because that's really how depression gets at times, but try to get active. Just do something that you can move your body. I don't care if it's going for a run. I don't care if it's doing some push-ups, some damn jumping jacks. Do something to get your body moving, okay? Even if you feel like you do have a bit of anger that you struggle with or aggression, sports and exercising is going to be your best friend. I'm telling you, whenever you feel that anger settling in, go for a run. Do some jumping jacks, go, I don't know, punch something, get into boxing, get into martial arts. Just do something that can occupy your mind and your body so that you can get focused in something and not just sit around and wallow in the things that you're feeling. And also, like I said, get that stagnant energy moving and flowing through your body. Tip number two, your diet. I know you're probably like, what does my diet have to do with my emotions? It has a lot to do with your emotions, especially if you eat a lot of chicken and stuff. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but it's an energy transfer. That's why it's good to eat live foods, healthy foods, because eating bad foods overall can just lead to you getting depressed and being in a low vibration. So when you're already in a low vibration and you don't have that mental clarity, try and eat healthy. Don't eat anything too bad or junky. Reduce your alcohol limits. That is a major one. I know that especially is really hard when you're going through things, and a lot of people turn to alcohol when they cope, not even just men, but men and women. But yeah, try and reduce your alcohol consumption because that's really going to drag you deeper into that hole. And not only that, but with things like that, when you use substances, I know some people like to pop pills, I know some people like to smoke, drink. It's okay if you want to have a joint. It's okay if you want to have a drink. But you got to make sure that you're not indulging in that stuff because it's not going to help you. It's going to kind of put you further down in those feelings and emotions. And once you get dependent on having something to help you feel better, it's going to be hard to get out of that, trust me. And I'm saying that from experience because when I was going through my depression, I know I'm not a man, but this is just depression in general. I was turning to smoking. I was drinking heavily. Like, it got to a point where I was drinking like a bottle a day. No chaser, straight liquor by myself, bottle a day. And it got to the point where I wasn't even happy not being sober. Like, I felt better not being sober than being sober. So it got to a point where it became a bad habit. I was like dependent on it, and every day I was just on something. And by on something, it was just alcohol, and I like to smoke. But yeah, like, don't even get yourself in that loop because once you get dependent on something, it's really hard to not. People say that you can't get addicted to weed. I say that's false. you're not gonna be like fiending, scratching your neck, but you're gonna be like, damn, like I need smoke, I need smoke, I need smoke for every little thing. And you do get dependent on it. Like, we gotta be real, like you really do get dependent on it. So be careful, please. Like, if you're gonna do those things, try not to just do too much of it. Limit it. Like, if you want to have a joint a day, okay, start off in the afternoon or the morning or the night, whenever, when your day is done, and have it like as a victory to yourself. I know a lot of people aren't really gonna be messing with this tip, but hey, I'm just the messenger, so I'm just letting you know what's gonna help you. All right. So tip number 3 is find somebody that you can confide in. It can be your best friend, you know, your homie. It can be a family member. Even if you need to get counseling and you don't want to talk to nobody that you know about your business, get counseling. Like, it's the best thing ever, I'm telling you. Just being able to just talk to a stranger about all the stuff that you're going through, and they don't really judge you like that, because you know, 9 times out of 10, like, they've heard it all. So, and they're in that business for a reason. So just trying to find somebody that you can actually trust to express yourself fully with. Even if you feel like, oh, I got my homie, but you know, I don't be telling him everything, but I be telling him stuff here and there, but you be feeling like you have to sugarcoat it. No, don't vent to that person, because you need somebody that you can actually like speak up and not be judged about it. Or you need to have the right people. I will say that too. Make sure that you have the right people around you, because certain people, if you don't have the right friends around you and you're going through something and you go and try to talk to them about it, they can probably, you know, give you bad advice or tell you things that you really shouldn't do, like, oh, let's go do this, or oh, let's go do that. Like, they need to be giving you good advice that's actually going to help you and not get you in more trouble or get you more, you know, down or in a worse predicament than you already were in. Like, you got to be careful with that, because if you and your homie going through stuff and y'all both cope in unhealthy ways, then that's not really somebody that you want to confide in. So just try and find somebody that you can talk to about the things that you're going through, that you trust, because I know it's hard to trust people about your emotions. That's why I just recommend just getting a counselor, because this is a random person that you're probably never going to see again after this counseling. And honestly, I'm not going to say they don't care about your problems, but you know, after they go home, they're not thinking about that stuff. Other people, they like to spread business. They like to, you know, judge and do all that, especially if they're around the same age as you. So just be careful with that. But that's all I'm gonna say. Last thing that I do want to say, which I know a lot of you guys may not like this either, but I'm gonna just be real with you guys and tell you what you need to hear, because ain't nobody got time for that. All right, it's a serious problem. So we need to do something about this. I know a lot of the time, men, fellas, you guys also like to cope through sex, which means that you're gonna sleep around and, you know, be promiscuous, and that also kind of helps to take your mind off of things. But all I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna say don't do that if that's what you want to do, but be careful about who you're sleeping with, because you don't understand that it's an energy exchange. And say you're already in a bad mental place and you have sex with somebody, and you know, 9 times out of 10 you're not getting to know these people, so you don't know what they're battling with, what type of mental health issues they have. And when you have sex with somebody, all of their problems and their trauma and their mental health issues and things that they got going on, their burdens and their spirit is coming onto you. So just be careful. That's all I'm gonna say. At least try and get to know somebody a little bit before you start sleeping with them, because it's really bad out here. A lot of people are traumatized, damaged, all these things, and you might be having depression or just dealing with slight anxiety. Next thing you know, you have sex with somebody, and then now your life is getting worse. You're all of a sudden having bad luck. Things are going wrong for you. Like, you gotta really be careful. I'm being so honest. And even with me being a female, like, from my perspective, with certain guys that I was talking to, I'm a pretty healthy person. I would say that. I meditate, I journal, I do yoga, I get outside, I try to eat right. And I notice that when I sleep with, you know, guys that aren't really in that same place, all of a sudden things start happening bad to me. And naturally, I have some pretty good luck because of the fact that I keep my energy so high. So I know it's the same for you guys, because that's just how it works. It's an energy exchange. Just be careful who you're sleeping with, and try not to sleep with too many people. Like, at the end of the day, like, do you. I'm not saying that you can't do that, but you just have to be careful. Like, get to know what somebody's dealing with and what they go through and what they battle with. Like, you'll get all sorts of type of demons and more trauma onto you. Next thing you know, all of a sudden you're bipolar. All of a sudden you got worse anger issues. All of a sudden you're extremely depressed and suicidal. Like, you gotta really be careful out here. That's all I'm gonna say. All right, Be careful. I love you guys. I really, really wish you guys the best, and I know how hard it is for you guys to deal with the things. Like, it's already so much that you have to go through, and you guys, you know, you're providers and you work and you grind, and you know, some of you may have families, and it just gets a lot on a man, and I understand that. So just be easy on yourself. Try and find healthy ways to cope and deal with the things that you're going through. Keep your head up. Yeah, guys, I'm rooting for you guys. I hope you guys are doing good. If you guys need any extra spiritual assistance or whatever, and you want me to pray for you, I will do that. You know, I'm very tapped in with God. So if you need some prayer, hit me up. I will pray for you. And I love you guys so much. I hope all is well. Stay positive, stay up. Peace out. And give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and send it to somebody else that might need it. Okay, peace.